What is going on, Buffalo Bills fans? I am Ryan Thomas. You're joining me live on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast, per usual, as I bring you another episode of the Thomas Take, and it's a very important one. Today was the NFL schedule unveiling day, which is considered by some sports fans, some football fans, as a bit of a national holiday. Um, I also want to say that I have done some podcasts with this headset on. I've done some podcasts without the headset on. I had two people mention to me that the headset was a little bit muffled. I haven't had any complaints other than that, so I got to keep rocking it until I get more complaints on that. I use the snowball mic, I use the headset. I like the headset a little bit more. It drowns out some background noise in comparison to the snowball mic. So as of now, I'm going to be using the headset. So Buffalo Bills, we knew what opponents they would have. Those were announced after the 2017 season was over. We did not know what order they would be in. We did not know who, we would play, let's just say week one, week two, week three, et cetera, et cetera. And I enjoy this time of year just as much as anybody because it means that football is right around the corner. We got the draft. We got all these great days and events leading up to what will eventually be the start of the 2018 NFL season, and all that's great. I enjoy it. I enjoy keeping up with it just as much as anybody, obviously. But I'm not gonna be one of those guys. And what I mean by that is I'm not gonna be a guy that looks at the schedule week after week and says, well, they're going to win this game, they're going to win this game, because it's so stupid. Everybody that does that, I just can't put myself in that bubble due to the fact that we are we're coming off a season where we did that. We, the Bills fans, did that. We thought that they wouldn't do that well this past season. In 2017, we thought that it was a rebuilding year. We thought that it was a tank season, and it ended up being a playoff season. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to point to each game and think which ones I think they'll win, think which ones I think they'll lose. I'm just not going to do that. What I am going to do is talk about the schedule itself, talk about the games that I'm really looking forward to, and talk about the games that I'm not looking forward to so much. So, pull up the schedule in front of me. Week one at Baltimore. They started the season at Baltimore, I believe, the year before last, if not last year. One of the last couple years, they started the season in Baltimore, week one. I'm looking forward to that. Week two, we have our first home game versus the Los Angeles Chargers, the home opener, week two, Sunday, September 16th at 1 o'clock, as was the week one game at 1 o'clock. Me personally, I like watching football games played, at 1 o'clock. I think that's the traditional way. Sunday morning, I read the newspaper, get my fantasy lineup set, then I take in the Bills game. I dedicate my Sunday to football, and that's the way it should be. Sunday at 1 o'clock, back to back, week one, week two. Week three, very tough matchup to say the least. I think week three, Buffalo heads to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings with their new look offense with quarterback Kirk Cousins. Minnesota is a very tough place to play, very tough place to play indeed, and a tough team to play against. That's going to be tough. The Green Bay Packers, week four. This is a game that I actually might end up going to. I've always wanted to go to Lambeau Field, always wanted to witness the history of it. I've always wanted to go there. I've been in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I've never been to another football stadium outside of New Era Field. And why not Lambeau? Why would Lambeau not be the first, somewhat visitor stadium that I go to as a Buffalo Bills fan? I would love that. September 30th, I got to look around, see if I can get tickets for that. I'm honestly thinking of taking a road trip out to Cheesehead Country in Green Bay and making that happen. I've heard so many awesome things about that town. Being a real blue collar football town, I want to check it out for myself. Week five, we host the Titans again on Sunday at 1 o'clock. I like it. I like that matchup a lot. The Titans, I think, are a rising team to say the least. Week 6, we have the Houston Texans. We travel to Houston to face those guys. Deshaun Watson, the real deal to say the least. The Indianapolis Colts, Week 7 at the Indianapolis Colts. Um, Week 9, or actually Week 8 versus the Patriots. That is the Monday night game. Of all the games we get to host, we get to host a Monday night game against the Patriots. It's going to be a fun one. Week 9 versus the Bears. We host the Bears at 1 o'clock. Week 10, we go to the Jets at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Week 12, Sunday game, 1 o'clock. Hosting the Jaguars. Hopefully, we can beat them this time. Then we head to Miami, December 2nd. The key part of the schedule, I think, is actually the back end of it. 3 games in December at home for the Buffalo Bills. The only game that is away is obviously the Patriots game in New England, December 23rd. That is going to be very interesting. The fact that Buffalo, if they are in a playoff race at that point, they're hosting 3 games on their own turf. In what is probably going to be some crappy weather. What I don't like about this schedule is that for the season ticket holders, they don't have many games to go to at home between the months of September and October. Specifically, just 3 home games from September 16th, October 7th, and October 29th. One of them is a primetime game, granted, but then from there on out, you have 5 home games from November 4th to December 30th in between that span. That could be a huge advantage for Buffalo, could be a huge disadvantage for Buffalo. We'll find out come the NFL season. But I'm not going to be one of those guys. For those of you that thought that I was gonna give a wins loss breakdown, I'm not going to do that. We haven't even reached the draft yet. We're not even at that point yet. So I don't even know what this roster is really going to look like until August. So until August, maybe even September in some cases. So that's it. My thoughts. The schedule, I think it's a good schedule. It really doesn't matter. It depends on what happens on Sunday and on Monday night, obviously, with this primetime matchup. I wanted a Monday night game very bad, but it does suck that they're going to be playing the New England Patriots on Monday night. I would have liked to have seen them play on Monday night versus the Dolphins or versus the New York Jets. I'm Ryan Thomas. It was the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Take care, everybody. Let's go, Buffalo.